All right, well, it's not like this should surprise anyone. We're dropping bombs in Syria and we're dropping bombs on Iranian assets. So that's great. Real good stuff. And it shouldn't surprise anyone. But unfortunately, it has. That should tell you how clueless the average American voter is. Do they not remember Obama? Do they not remember when Obama was itching to put boots on the ground in Syria? And the only reason why he didn't is because nearly absolutely everyone unanimously shouted no. The political backlash was so immense that it actually caused Obama to go back on it and not do it. Biden was not one of the voices at that time criticizing the idea that we should invade Syria. Now, at the time, maybe you could say he didn't want to upset his boss, but now we know that that wasn't it. He and Kamala Harris are as war-hungry as they come. They are legitimate psychopaths. Say what you will about Trump. Trump was certainly not some peacenik pacifist. He fell short in diminishing our policing around the world for sure, but he didn't start any new wars, and he actually used a little bit of logic on occasion. Iran shoots down an unmanned drone of ours. Retaliation is on the table. Trump is told retaliation may kill around 100 Iranian members of military, and Trump said no. He said killing 100 because of one unarmed drone is not worth it. That is not an equal response, he said. It would be wrong to do so. I can't fault him for that logic. I do not think you're going to get that type of reasonability with Biden. In fact, I know we won't, because here he is dropping bombs in Syria a month into his presidency. And remember a few weeks ago, Biden barely made his seat warm behind his desk, and he was moving troops into Syria. Not a good look. But what were we told? We were told either that it's unsubstantiated, it's not true, or we were told, oh, this happens all the time, nothing to see here, how dare you try and demean Biden when he has barely even been in office. And here we are, barely a month later, he's dropping bombs. Great. But actually, the truth is, because I mentioned the American voter before, Biden voters don't really even know who they voted for. Not really. The man is so mentally degraded and incapable of delivering a speech without getting lost in the middle of a sentence. I am sure that Biden is less of a decision maker and more of a guided issuer of orders. He is likely being told, hey, this is what we're going to do next. It's going to be great. It's going to go great. Trust us. Sign the orders. And Biden, not being of sound mind, says, okay, I trust you, and signs whatever they put in front of him. So, like I said, I don't even think that people who voted for Biden really know truly who they voted for. He's not the one probably calling the shots, because he doesn't even know what the shots are that are being called. Now, it is good to see that everyone is war-weary, even most Republicans, and that's been true for a while now. Trump got elected not by warmongering. Anti-war sentiments actually work now with nearly everyone except some real nutty neocons. I think Liberty Hangout seemed okay with bombing Syria, and also politicians of all varieties, of course. Biden is obviously fine with it, and some media pundits saying that Biden supposedly chose the least lethal option in their defense of Biden, that this was payback for bombings done in Iraq. Okay. They said it was the least lethal option that Biden chose here. Well, how narrow-minded of you. The least lethal option is to get the hell out of there. But I digress. Because as for the average person, being anti-war resonates with them, which is a good sign. Those conservatives that were for going into Iraq seem to be sick of it at this point. I'm one of them. I was a 2004 Bush-supporting conservative Republican. It hurts me to admit this, but that's what I was. I was 100% in favor of war in Iraq. And I learned my lesson. I read some Ron Paul, learned about blowback, and, long story short, now I'm not okay with war. And of course, I think that those on the left are still anti-war as well, and many of them have been speaking out against what Biden has done or what others have done for Biden. But one odd thing I noticed for my personal Facebook, which I look at from time to time but barely ever post anything on it, whenever I would look at it for the past 4 years, every day, nothing Trump did went without scrutiny. If he saber-rattled at all, there were accusations of him being the psychopath in chief, in the pocket of Putin, so on and so forth. It's interesting because I haven't seen anything about Biden dropping bombs in Syria. It's been crickets. I think they are against it in their heart of hearts, but they are probably embarrassed because, holy crap, they voted for this guy, and this is what he's doing a month in. Now, I say shame on them. Shame on them for not knowing. If you couldn't see this coming, you shouldn't have voted. I know people say you should always vote no matter what, rain, sleet, or snow, make sure you vote. Nope, not at all true. If you weren't someone who didn't see this coming from 10 miles away, you should not have voted. You are not informed enough. You're embarrassingly uninformed, actually. We only had 8 years of Biden as VP, and he never seemed to have much of an issue with the insane warmongering behavior that Obama was engaging in. If that wasn't a tip-off for you, you shouldn't be voting. But no, the politicians we elect are there because the lowest common denominator thinks that they're doing good by the mere act of voting. Well, what if you're not doing good? What if, in fact, you are making the worst possible decision that leads to war and or the death of untold numbers of innocent people throughout the world and commits us to unbelievably costly wars that kill many Americans or maim many Americans? What if that's what you're doing? And that question is rhetorical, of course, because it's not what if that's what you're doing. It's that is what you have done. I am not sure you should be voting, and every single person who was surprised at all by this should have stayed home on November 4th. You didn't do your homework. I won't say you're not intelligent, but you've got too much credulity. At this point, if you still think that somehow a politician that is a Democrat means that they'll have a softer, more peaceful foreign policy, then my God, I have a bridge to sell you. But anyway, that is all for now. Like, subscribe, share this video with anyone you can. It's extraordinarily appreciated. Take it easy.